Hey everybody, today I'm going to be taking a look at the T29 Tier 7 Heavy tank in the American line. So, if we go over the tech tree here, you can see to get to this tank you have to suffer through the Lee, and then you can actually bypass the T1 Heavy and the M6 if you take the M4 and then do the Jumbo, and then you can go down to the T29, but I don't know, the Jumbo kind of feels like a heavy tank with a medium tank gun. The M6 actually has a pretty decent gun that also gets carried over into the T20. So if you want to get used to what an American heavy tank is kind of like, the T1 Heavy and the M6 are pretty good tanks. I had fun playing them. And then you move on to the T29, and I've since unlocked the T32. So, taking a look at the hit points, you got 1,250. If you compare that to the IS, you got about 1230. What else is it? Tier 7 for the heavies. You got the Tiger. Tiger gets a lot of hit points because let's see here. Yeah. You get 1,400 with the stock turret, but when you get the bigger turret, you get 1,500 hit points. And that's pretty much because the Tiger has really flat, weak armor, for the most part, unless you angle it extremely well. So, hit point-wise, it's a little bit down on the Tiger, but I'm okay with that because I think the Tiger kind of needs more hit points. Looking at the weight, this thing is a beast. It is heavy metal, 65 tons. You want to ram into as much stuff as possible when you fight this with this guy. Like any small tank destroyers, artillery, light tanks, medium tanks. Just about the only things you can't ram into and really hurt really badly are like KV4s and KV5s and stuff, or like really heavy tier 9 stuff. But for what this thing is at tier 7, 65 tons is pretty cool. So it weighs a lot, but the mobility isn't actually too bad. If you look at, oh, it's not actually showing my specific, the horsepower per ton. I'm going to assume horsepower per ton on this thing is probably around 13 or 14. It's got an 800 horsepower engine, which is pretty good for how much it weighs. It has a top speed of 35, and the climbing hills, it's a little bit slow, but I mean, it weighs a lot. And the traverse speed is 25, but it's actually really bad if you don't have the top tracks. If you only have the base tracks, you only get 20. And that's pretty dog slow. If you've driven the T14, it also has that. It has 20 traverse speed, and it takes about 5 minutes to turn completely around. So getting the tracks is actually quite beneficial to making this tank not feel like a complete slug. Looking at the armor, this is one of the major strong points of this tank. You got 102 sloped armor in the front on the upper glacis. You do have a weak spot down here. This spot here is another weak spot. The sides are pretty easy to penetrate for just about anything. I killed a T29 yesterday with my A43, and that only is 125 pen. So you can pen the sides of the T29 pretty easily. Sides of the turret a little bit harder to pen. If you got shots at anywhere in here, just take them. Somewhere around here, you can blow the engine up. If you have to shoot at the turret, shoot at the flat spots, probably right about here to here. You might be able to get some shots in on the side of the cupola, but I mean, it's a little bit more angled, so you kind of take your chances. These boxes here, I assume that these are not hit boxes. They probably wouldn't have modeled any collision for these, so don't shoot at those. Looking at the sidearm is 76, and you got 51 in the back. You can get in the back of this thing and shoot it up pretty good with just about anything, and do damage to the tank. So looking at the turret armor, this thing's got the beast turret. This turret on this tank is amazing, and I can attest to that because I've played about 75, 80 games in this tank, and it's my favorite tank at tier 7, like hands down. It's my favorite heavy tank in the game so far that I've been able to play. It takes a lot for something to go through the front of this thing. You have to get shot by like a T30 or something who's shooting like gold rounds. because the armor on this is fantastic. Just about the only weak spots on this turret are if you can get around behind it, obviously, in the sides. But from the front, the only weak spots are really up here. And if you can hit the hatch. But there's not really any flat spots on here. If you get a shot here, that might count, but I don't know. It's not a very good bet to be shooting at this thing from the front. One thing that I can note is that I've had a Tiger shoot at me once with HE rounds, and he just shot right here, right at my gun, and he's able to knock my gun out twice. So maybe don't pop up and just sit stationary. You might want to pop up, go back down, and make sure that whatever target you present isn't a really easy one, so they don't shoot right at your gun. So that's pretty much a brief look at the armor there. The armor on this tank's great. I really like this tank. If you can angle it like this, it's going to be pretty hard to get too much shots in through here. And if you can side scrape, this thing is fantastic to side scrape around corners with as well. Looking at the guns. Even when this tank has the gun from the M6, this 90mm gun, the M3, it's still a pretty decent gun. You get almost 8 rounds per minute, which is quite nice. You get 240 alpha damage, which, I mean, that's how much a Tiger does. So you're not really down on damage just because you're using a Tier 7 gun instead of a Tier 8 gun. Because really, the upped gun on this, the T5E1 gun, that's the T32's gun. So you're really getting a fantastic gun on this tank that has really good penetration when you use the top gun. But the M3 still has decent penetration at 140, or I mean at 160. And when you shoot prem rounds, you're getting 243, which is pretty fantastic. And your accuracy is 0.38, and your aim time is 2.3. So even when you're starting off using this gun, because you'll have unlocked it on the M6, it's still really good. If you don't go through the M6, this is where you're going to fall down a bit, because you're going to have to use the M1A2 or use free experience to unlock one of these two guns. And it's going to suck using the T29 if you're trying to shoot stuff out, if you're trying to like do anything with 128 pen against Tier 9 tanks. Like with this tank, like you can't flank hard. You're not going to be circling people with this tank very often. So like if you're using the M1A2, you're probably doing it wrong. You really, really, really want to go through the M6 so you can unlock this gun and not have to suffer through the M1A2. But when you do get to the top gun, it's quite a nice gun. You've got 5.26 rate of fire, which is kind of slow, but the penetration's good. It's about 200. You got 320 alpha damage and 0.42 accuracy. 0.42 on paper looks bad, but I don't find this tank misses very often. If you allow this tank to aim fully with 2.3 aiming time, which isn't that bad, you can do quite well. And the 105mm gun is good enough to be able to punch through thicker tanks from farther away because of its higher muzzle velocity. And one of the things that I found has helped me when I play this tank is when I'm cresting hills and I'm just trying to give away my turret, getting the vertical stabilizer really helps because it kind of makes your aiming circle smaller to begin with when you're moving and your turret's moving. And then if you put on an enhanced gun laying drive, you get better aiming speed from that as well. So you can pop over stuff and your aiming time is a lot less if you can combine these two things together. And then I just take a rammer for the rest of that stuff to do with the gun. So high points of this tank right now: armor, great, fantastic. The turret is fantastic, and I really like the gun. The turret traverse speed is 26, so I don't know if you've driven a Panzer IVS or the T14 doesn't have a very fast turning turret either. You're going to get a pretty good idea of what the T29 is like as far as what its turret traverse speed is. Your view range, once you get the top turret, is 380. If you're still running around with the base turret, which actually is not a chore at all, you're only getting 330 view range, but you're still getting 279 armor in the front. So it's really nice that you don't get a compromised turret like you do in the T32. One other really nice thing about how this tank is set up is that you don't need to have the top turret to run the top gun. So what I actually did is I put on fake tracks so I could mount all the rest of my other stuff on here. And then I got the gun first, and then I got the turret, and then I got the last engine, because this engine's unlocked on the M6. Actually, no, it's not. I thought it was. Let me look here. Oh, I'm mistaken. Both of these engines will need to be unlocked on the T29. But if you get the tracks, then you can load up some of this other stuff without having to necessarily get that top turret, because honestly, it doesn't really make... I haven't found it made much of a difference. Getting the gun was more important than getting the turret first for me. So looking at that, that's good. You got 30 view range. That's not bad at all. And your signal range is 745. That's a thumbs up. And you've already taken a look at the modules, so let's look at the ammo. I take about 35 AP rounds in, 10 APCR, and 3 HE rounds. You can take more. I just don't really feel like wasting the money because the shells are a little bit expensive. They're about 1,000 a pop, so I mean, I don't know. I just don't bring in as many as if I don't need to. So looking at the repair stuff, I actually threw a large repair kit in here because they were on sale. And then I got a small first aid kit, and I got an automatic fire extinguisher. This thing can get set on fire if you get shot in through the side, so don't give me your side if you can. I don't know, I've seen these things burn and burn and burn down, and people who are too dumb to get a fire extinguisher. So yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to get a fire extinguisher, not do that. So if you take a look at my crew here, this is actually a crew that I started training up on my T14 in anticipation of getting the T32. I transferred my crew from the T29 into my T32. So then when I needed it, I just took my crew out of the T14 and put them in the T29. One of the other things I also did was once I got my T14 loader crew up to 100%, I then took him out of the tank and put in another guy, trained him to 75%, got him to close to 100%, and then I had my 2 loaders that I need for my T29 from my T14. So I wasn't compromised by having a 75% loader in my T29, which was quite nice because this tank has more crew members than the T14 does. And unless you're running a T34 as a premium training tank instead of a T14, like I am, you're going to be short a crew member when you have to transfer guys in. So that's one thing I did to try and not have my T29 running with a 75% crew again. I just actually ran my T14 every day until I got the crew up high enough that I could transfer them in, and then I've got them from 90% all the way up to about 99 to 95%. So that's a quick look at my crew. Having 6th Sense on the commander is fantastic. It's one of the things you always want to get first on the commander. I have Snapshot, so I have better accuracy for during turret rotation. I have clutch braking, so I can just get this thing turning quicker. And repairs would be my last 3. And then, like as you can see, this is kind of what I had my setup on my T29, which was like 6th Sense, repairs, Snapshot, clutch braking, and off-road drive, and smooth ride, and then I'll take off-road driving. But I have repairs and firefighting on even on another one of the skills there. So one of the nice things about this tank is you got so many extra, well, not so many extra, but you've got extra crew members, so it allows you to take a little bit more crew skills for firefighting or safe stowage or whatever you deem that you want to put on the tank. So that's a pretty good look at the T29 in the garage, and I got some replays here so you can see how it does. But quickly, I'll just load up my stats here for this tank. Go bunk. Tanks I have in my garage. We'll look at the T29. I've played 71 games in it. I have almost 75% win rate in it. I've killed 120 vehicles and only died 25 times. This is the tank that I've got the most experience ever in, a 2455. I killed 7 tanks that game. So I got a 4.8 destruction ratio. I kill about 5 tanks for every time I die. And my damage ratio is pretty good too. I got 140,000 damage given to 55 taken. And yeah, this is one of my favorite tanks to drive in the game. I typically do at least 2,000 to 4,000 damage in this tank whenever I play it, and I usually don't take too much. If you drive this tank right, you can do a lot of good things. And the gun is accurate. I've even got a patrol duty in it. And steel walls are pretty easy to rack up in it. And you get top guns and you can kamikaze people because with your weight you can ram people really good. So T29, easily my favorite Tier 7 heavy tank. I would take the T29 over the Tiger. And, well, I like it more than my IS, even though my IS is pretty good. What else is a Tier 7? Your AMX M445, I think, probably isn't quite as good as the T29. You've got your IS, you've got your KV3. I haven't driven a KV3. I'd like to. I plan on going down this line fairly soon. Let's look at the Tier 7 from the Chinese. They got the IS2, which is basically IS, very similar. So got that, and then you got Tier 7, you got the Black Prince, which has got a compromised gun, but it's got pretty decent armor. So all in all, T29, in my opinion, is the best Tier 7 heavy tank in the game. This is its main competition as far as I'm concerned. You got the IS. It's got a higher alpha damage, but its accuracy is worse, and its loading time is also worse. So here we go. It's replay time. Hey, here we go on one of the worst maps in the game. And on the worst map in the game, you climb to the top of the hill when you're in a heavy tank. Unless sometimes you want to go to the bottom in the south. So I've got a T34-3 coming with me. I got a Tiger. And a Lurver, it looks like, and a KV1S is going to base camp. AT7's getting spotted. It looks like we're not going to have too much help here. It's going to be me and the Lurver for the most part. We'll see how much the Tiger does. So this is a Tier 8 game. There are 4 Tier 8 tanks on each team, and our Hellcat just bit it. So as you can see, I'm only doing about 15 climbing the hill. Not too fast. Not really the strong point of the T29 is its brutal agility. But the turret, it moves pretty good. It's decently fast. So I thought maybe I might have a shot at that guy, so I stopped for a sec, but we'll see if this guy decides to do anything here. We'll shoot him. So we'll just speed this up while I get to the top of the hill. Boop, 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 boop. What do we got here? We got a 59-16. Fortunately for him, he ran into something, but before I could get the shot off, blah, 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 stealth tank. And then he spotted me. And then I get shot. I really would have liked to have shot him, but I'm already down a little bit of damage. I'm assuming that shot went in and hit me in the side. Because it definitely didn't go off my turret. That shot bounced off my turret. I wanted to get a shot on him since he spotted me. I wanted revenge.
Enemy armor is hit.
And I did get a bit of revenge there. I was able to put one into him. The T34-3 is crying for us to move up. I don't know why he yelled at the Tiger. He should yell at me. So things are looking bad. We've already lost 6 tanks. We got idiot team down in the base there. So it's going to be up to me and the Tiger to try and do as much damage as we can here to try and make up for it. We've only killed 3 tanks. And they've only been Tier 7 and 6 tanks, so not so good. So I'm going to pop around the corner here and see what I can see. Oh, got the side of him.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
But he was turning when I was shooting at him, so that wasn't so hot. But I get a shot at the Super Pershing here. So I'm going to shoot his turret, inside of his turret.
Armor is damaged.
And the Tiger puts one into him, so we did about combined about 600 damage to him there. Not bad. And now he's actually facing me. And he went invisible, so I just shot at him. So the lurvers decided to drive across the bottom instead of go near the top. That's fine.
Penetration.
Put one into the T25 IT because they don't have very strong armor. Ooh, this is a nice juicy target.
Penetration.
Hit him and the Lord Glacius. Didn't really need to. They're pretty easy to penetrate with the T29. See, Type 58. Come on, load, baby!
Enemy armor is damaged.
And these are about 350 meters away. And letting it aim,
Vehicle destroyed.
like I'm not missing many of my shots here. I'm able to even pick off some little bit of resilience of weak spots. So I'm just peeking over the top here, not giving up too much of my tank. And I really wish I could have blasted him. And the lurver's just about finished getting himself killed driving across the middle of the field. So I'm going to pop up here and see what I can shoot at. See if I can take out this Type 58. And that shot went a little bit to the left. I take one in the turret again. That one bounced off my cupola. That one hit my gun mantlet. That one hit the top. That one bounced off there. In total in this game, I actually took 31 hits. And I still didn't get steel wall. So someone else bounced more shots than I did. I don't know who it was, but maybe it was this AT-15.
That one didn't go through.
So I should have been a little bit more careful there. So you can see I'm all scarred up already. Things are looking a little bit better. Now it's 6 to 8. But it's still not fantastic. And you look behind me, you can see artillery shooting at us as well.
Penetration.
Put one into the weak spot on the AT-15. That's what you get for having a big weak spot, sucker. Oh, and that one just went a little bit high, unfortunately. Oh, and I was leading him there, but then he turned a little bit, so that was unfortunate. So this guy has to die here. Alright, you have to die. Oh! And that shot went nowhere near I wanted it to. So the closer you get, the worse the accuracy gets in the T29. Alright, this one's going to go in.
Got him.
The other weak spot in the AT-15 is just shoot straight at his gun, and that ended up working there, so woohoo! So, I like shooting Hellcats. I like all the people that like driving the overpowered tanks.
Penetration. Periscope is damaged. It's hard to see.
Take that, Hellcat. Burn! Burn in hell.
Enemy armor is destroyed. We
Alright.
lost a track.
So you can see I'm still scarred up here. Taking a lot of shots. I've killed 3 tanks, and now the game's tied. And we've got a full strength IS-3 coming up the hill, and Stuart that has come around behind us. He could actually do some damage, and he did.
Penetration.
He shot me right in the back because I had to worry about getting shot by Artie, and finally the Tiger takes him out, but I didn't really need that to happen. My automatic fire extinguisher saved me from some extra burning damage there. So I'm going to try an angle here, and IS-3 stupid, he gave me the side of his tank, and I'm going to back up and use my turret here, and keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And I get splash damaged by the artillery, but we take out the IS-3, so that's good. Now we're actually winning 11 to 9, which is, whew. And artillery is still shooting at me, and I think he is the one who eventually does end my existence because, unfortunately, yes, I do die. And bush poking is what gets me killed because I have no one else spotting for me, so I got to do it myself. It's really just me and the Tiger, and that was it. Not much else to say about that game. Speed it up here. You can see our team dying.
Gunner is dead. We're shooting blind.
And we've got a full strength IS-6 who's taken no damage and probably done nothing in the game. What did he end up doing? He did 300 damage the whole game. Pilot Baba, you are an ace. So, needless to say, we lost. But looking at some of the stats, I ended up doing about 3,541 damage. I received 31 hits. I did 12 of them. Only 12 of those penetrated that did hit me. 4 of them were from splash damage. I had 19 non-penetrating hits, and I potentially received about 8,600 damage. So that wasn't too bad, considering how the game went. And I ended up killing 4 tanks in a Tier 8 game. Took out their IS-3, and overall did not too bad. Well, looky. Looks like we're back on Malinovka again. And once again, I have to climb the hill, but at least I'm top tier this time. And I kind of ran into that guy. Sorry, KV1. I'm just going to speed it up while I climb the hill. You can see that there's an IS. Just one, though. Oh, nope, there's 2.
We didn't even scratch them.
Took a bit of a snapshot there, but it at least hit him. It just didn't go through his turret. It's probably not the best place for a Wolverine. Don't quite have a great shot at him.
Enemy armor is down.
The IS has a garbage turret, so shoot at it whenever you can. Okay. So 1 IS down. They do have 1 artillery who has killed 1 player in our team already. Okay, so I see a stationary Tiger, but oh, I gotta get this shot.
Penetration.
Put 1 in the IS. That one is gonna go through every time on the side of that tank. And the Tiger's already backing off.
We've lost some ammo, but at least it didn't explode.
So I exposed the side of my tank to the Tiger, and he shot me in the back of it, and it ammo racked me. And I didn't get quite around to actually fixing that until a little bit later here. I was like, I'll sit here.
Enemy armor is down.
I'll trade turret shots with you. And there we go. Ammo rack fixed. And look at that. Shot from the artillery. Lands right in the top. That took a big chunk of my life away. You're always a big target when you're in this thing. People in the artillery, they run the XVM, they see who the better players are, and otherwise they'll just pick a T29 or some of the slower tanks and try and pick them off. So you gotta watch out for that in this tank. The Artie will key on you. This is really gonna be bad for him.
Penetration.
T1 Heavy, you died really fast. Tiger, you're gonna die now too. Sorry.
Penetration.
This is why I hate the Tiger, because whenever I shoot at them, it's like you shoot at the front of their hull when they're straight on like that. It's just like instant hit, and then the Tiger's dead. So KV1S side shot, another bad idea for this guy. Set him on fire. Boom, burn, dead. KV1S down. So it looks like the forest is pretty clear at this point. I don't need to be as cautious. It looks like the team was a little bit better this time around. And this is like a horrible part of this map right here. Don't drive down the side of that cliff if you don't, like, I've driven off there and hurt myself 2 or 3 times, so now I'm very careful when I come around that corner. Because it's all blocked off by like bushes and stuff, and you can't see how much of a drop off it is. No, there's probably something back here. I'd like to take a shot at this Hummel and beat him into the ground because he hit me. So it's only right that I hit him back. So I'm just scanning around looking for him. And that looks like the Tiger P. Take a blind shot anyway. The T25-2, you should move. You don't want to do this.
Critical hit.
So I hit him, but somehow it was only a critical hit. So it busted some modules, maybe killed someone in his tank. So now he's fully in cover and he's gonna hide, but then he gets pasted by our Hummel, just destroyed him. Ah, here we go. Time to die, dipshit.
Vehicle destroyed.
Nice. So, killed the Hummel. Now I can be happy, I can sleep at night and feel good about life. Yes. Retribution for my rooftop scar. And that was the end of the Tiger P, and it looks like only the VK 3002M, the Baby Panther, is left. So we'll speed it up. Do I get up to the top? Do I get this last shot? No! No, I do not. So the battle results for this game, I ended up getting a Confederate and a Sniper Medal, did 3,340 damage, killed 2 tanks, was the top experience earner on the team with 1,022, and that was non-doubled. And yeah, took 12 shots and 11 penetrated. I took 6 hits and 4 non-penetrating, only 2 penetrated. One of them was the shot that I took from the Tiger, the other one was from the artillery, so it was really only, 2 hits. Potentially took about 1,800 worth of damage, and did 228 spotting damage. So, not too bad. Not too bad a result. And looks like this is going to be an assault replay here. And we are not top tier. There are 2 tier 8 tanks on each team. We have a T32 and they have a Ferdinand. And a Jag Tiger 88. I am not really afraid of tier 8 tanks when I drive the T29 because it's so good. And I'm driving up here all by my lonesome. I'm not going to go up farther than this though because I don't have anyone else backing me up. And I don't want to get flanked around the side, which could potentially happen. So I just take up residency right here and pre-aim this corner. And for the most part, I'm pretty shielded from artillery when I'm in this spot, which is nice. And my gun depression means I can pop up over here and do things like this. Oh! Fortunately, I should have aimed a little bit lower on that one, but what are you going to do? I'm pretty sure that one broke his gun, or killed his gunner. So 2 not too great aimed shots.
Enemy armor is damaged.
That one actually successfully went a little bit low and pegged him pretty good. And our M6 smashes him in the mouth and takes him out. So the Type 58 is... he probably doesn't want to play with me. I wouldn't. Not if I was in Type 58. So, spot a KV-1S.
Ricochet.
I don't know how that didn't go in. I shot him right in that upper plate, but still, he was angled enough and it bounced. Oh, and I didn't lead well enough. But now it looks like we have a KV-1S and a Tiger P in the Type 58.
Penetration.
I didn't really think he would be this dumb, but he evidently was. So he just drove up right in front of me. Bye. See ya. Okay. So things are looking good. Got 1 kill. And these guys are stupid enough to sit right in front of me. So I will take that. I'm going to pop that back down. I'm going to reload. Oh, another KV-1S. Too bad your accuracy sucks. Oh. And that hit me in the top of my tank. I'm going to assume that was maybe artillery. I'm not sure what would have done that. Maybe the KV-1S was loading HE rounds. Looks like Artie can at least shoot that one spot right there. So, just to be careful, and time's on my side here, I just decide to take it a little bit easy. Looks like the Tiger P might think about coming around that side. So, I turn my tank and reorient to do that, because I have lots of backup over here. At this point, I decide to go into this little hole so I can get a better vector on these guys and pop out. So, spot the KV-1S, crap turret, shot goes right in. Where are you, KV-1S? Let's play. Let's play! Oh. He just got smashed by Artie. Okay, so the only tank left is the Tiger P, and over here anyway. So, I thought I might come around the other side, but yeah, meh. It's time to just drive up and take care of this dude. He just took a big hit. And I spot a Black Prince, and that shot didn't go in. So I'm going to shoot his track hub, and maybe I can get him tracked.
Critical hit.
Yep, tracked. Just in case Artie is going to try and shoot at me here, I pull back a little bit. I don't want to get shot. And that Black Prince looked like he just took a big one. A big fat one. So that Black Prince probably is going to be backing up at this point. And we have an entire team there waiting for the Tiger P. So I'm going to go up and deal with this dude. Looks like the T29 decided he wanted to come up and play. Oh, there's the other KV-1S. And the Black Prince. Now we've only got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. So, things aren't looking bad at all. We're up 6-3. We've killed 6 of their guys. We pop around. Put one in the side of him. And this KV-1S is going to try and get a shot at me. And I don't know where that shot went, but he totally missed me. So, I'm reloaded now.
Track hit. We didn't penetrate their armor.
And I didn't penetrate the Black Prince, but I did track him there, so he can't do anything else additionally to me. And I don't know why that T25 decided to do that. He didn't need to take that shot, really.
Penetration. We're immobilized.
I'm going to angle, and I'm almost reloaded. He's not going to get out of this without getting shot by me now.
Enemy armor is hit.
So give the KV-1S a good blast, and neither one of those guys hit me there.
Enemy armor is damaged.
So shoot and track the KV-1S. And our T25-2 friend died.
Gotcha.
KV-1S is down. Now it's just the Black Prince. I'm going to angle. Bye. See you soon.
We didn't
Oh.
penetrate their armor.
I did not penetrate. So the game's not looking... Well, north-wise, the game's looking good. South-wise, the team fell down a little bit. So it's time to rush back and make sure this game is not a loss. Because it's almost even now. They've killed 8 of our tanks. But I got a clean shot at this guy. And it just... I don't know where that shot went. It went into oblivion.
Penetration.
So that's a nice shot. Pretty much reduced him down to someone could ram him and he'd be dead. So going downhill, it looks like I can hit my 35 top speed. And now the game is tied, and now we are losing. And all that is important right here is for one of us to survive and to not let them cap. Because they can't cap in a minute, I don't think. So I'm just going to try and get back and not die like everyone else on our team is seemingly hell-bent on doing right here. So I pop up around this corner, and I got a little bit of a speck of that other tank there. I'm not giving up too much of my tank here, so I know this KV-1S got a little bit miffy because he's like, why don't you drive up and try and save me? It's like, I want to win. I didn't need to drive up there to be effective.
Critical hit.
So I tracked the Yag Tiger, which extended his life by a little bit. And now the Ferdinand's going to come and try and get him.
Penetration.
So I shoot him in the side, and me being closer to this is not going to help that KV-1S in any way.
We didn't penetrate
And I
their
didn't
armor.
penetrate the side of him, but he kills the Ferdinand, and then he dies. So got a shot at this dude, and the shot went a little bit low. And the guy's like, move up, you dump. I'm like, I don't care. We won. Everything timed out, and we won. So good for us. Yeah, and that was a pretty fun game. I got 2 kills, did 3,435 damage. The next best guy in our team did 2,063, and that was their artillery. The next best guy after that did 1,700, and everyone else after that was all pretty negligible. So it was a pretty good carry game. I ended up getting steel wall, patrol duty, and sniper. I shot 24 times, got 21 direct hits, 16 penetrations. I received only 13 hits this time, 10 non-penetrating hits, luckily for me, and I potentially could have received over 3,000 damage, so that's not too bad. And from all the spotting I did, I actually did 2,735 spotting damage. So T29, patrol duty spotting tank. Not bad. Welcome back. We're on Lakeville. To me, this is a very heavy-centric map. I find medium tanks are kind of at a disadvantage when they play on this map, so I was happy to be in a... I'm always happy to be in a T29 when I'm on this map. And it looks like we have no one going Valley, because this is just a standard play this time. So me and the KV-13 and the Jackson. Everyone else is going in the middle or into town. So we'll just speed things up because the T29 driving through the bog isn't very fast. So I'm just repositioning here so I can at least jump behind this rock when I need to. I'll drive up here. Don't quite have a shot at these fellas yet. The IS is just sitting here, I guess, not paying attention. So shoot him right through the front of the turret. And drop back, get a reload in. So it looks like they got a VK 3001P, and there's a Tiger as well, and there's an IS. And a Yeg Panther somewhere back there. I haven't spotted, but I don't really care. And unfortunately that one went a little bit low. And I bounced that one at the top of my tank.
We didn't even scratch them.
And that one actually bounced off his turret, which is interesting. I'm going to keep a lot of this battle in third-person view, just because it's kind of fun to see how good this turret is. It's easily the best thing about this tank.
Enemy armor is hit.
So that reduced the VK down quite a bit. And I'm taking shots there in my upper part of my armor, but didn't really do too much damage.
Penetration.
So Yeg Panther's sitting there, and I would like to just track him and keep him in spot, but I ran out of space, time.
Critical hit.
And that was unfortunate there. I really wish that could have gone in.
We've lost a track.
And he tracked me, which really isn't going to help him.
Enemy armor is hit.
So I pump him
Track repaired.
for another 300 damage. And these guys are getting pretty aggressive here. I'm not really sure if that's in their best interest. Turns out in the end it wasn't. And that bounced.
Got him.
Finally take out that VK. He was pesky. And there's the IS. I don't quite have a shot, but I'm not loaded either, so not a big deal. Come on, IS, pop back up.
Enemy armor is damaged.
I don't recommend IS players go into here because they have garbage turrets. I would rather have a Tiger turret than an IS turret.
Enemy armor is hit.
So, doing what I can here. Trying to keep the KV-13 alive.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Penetration.
And what did I get hit there? Looks like he just went clean through the front.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Alright, so IS down, got 2 kills, and now it's the Tiger who's just fixating at me.
We didn't even.
So I took a shot there, and he got really lucky by shooting at the upper part of my turret, on the little clefty part right above the matlet. So that's a weak spot, but that was a pretty good shot. Good shot to you, Monsieur Tagir. And that's a Hellcat with a stock turret.
Enemy is hit.
And it looks like this gun is more than good enough to punch through the front of the Tiger's turret, even when it's the best one. So we're going head to head here. Missed a cupola shot. I don't really know if I have to be too defensive here. I'm going to be able to punch through the Tiger a lot easier than he's going to be able to punch through me.
Penetration.
I would just like to remove as many tanks as fast as I can, so I just wanted to put one into the Hellcat to make him back off. So we're winning 11-9. It's not looking too bad right now.
Enemy armor is damaged.
I find one of the flat parts on the Tiger and nail him for another 300. So things are looking pretty good. Let's see if I can creep up a shot on the stupid Hellcat.
Armor is destroyed.
Not a good place for a Hellcat to be. And now it's a dead place for him to be. So he's dead, and that just leaves the Tiger, who is almost one-shottable at this point. So he shoots and misses, and this is time to go.
They're knocked out.
So I nail him in his weak spot, and then I look back on the map, and I'm like, okay, AT-7 is in the base. Almost. And there's only a Panther there to stop him, and that's not really a great place for a Panther to be unless he's behind him. But, look at that, Panther took him out. So that just leaves a Panther M10 somewhere on the map. And that somewhere is in the base. Almost in the base. So we'll just speed things up a little bit. Alright, so that was a win, and we're going to take a look at some of the stats for this battle. I shot 20 times, I had 18 direct hits and 14 penetrations, which is nice, and damage-wise did 3,761, which was the most from any member on my team, and I took 14 hits, 10 being non-penetrating hits, and that one was the one that actually did penetrate my turret, which was a really good shot. I potentially took about 3,400 damage, and all in all, I only drove about 1.3 kilometers. So that was a pretty good match. Ended up killing 4 tanks, and also was rewarded with steel wall and a sniper medal. Welcome to the final installment of when T29's attack. Luckily, I am on a map that is pretty good in the T29. I bounce a shot from Hellcat. I'm also top tier. We have inferior, probably top tier tanks to them, considering they have an IS-2 and a T29 and a Tiger and a KV-1S, and we have like a Black Prince and a Comet. So they were actually able to put a shot into the IS-2, which is nice. Unfortunately for me, it looks like I'm the only heavy tank that really went this way, other than
Enemy armor is hit.
the T1 Heavy, which just bit it. So that leaves me by myself and my turret, because the Black Prince isn't come over here to help me quite yet.
Penetration. We lit that one up good.
Got a nice lucky shot on the Panzer III-4, lit him on fire. Burn, baby, burn.
Enemy is hit.
And the KV-1S, he didn't have the top gun. He just has the measly crap gun on that tank, so I don't have to be afraid of him whatsoever at all.
Track hit.
And I take a really nasty shot from this stupid arty there, because this Tiger is just going to camp it up. He's not going to move. But spot this guy.
They're knocked out.
Your turret's not up to snuff, fella. And I decided to back it up there really fast just because I want to move and make the artillery move. So we're losing 6 to 8 now. They've killed a lot of our tanks, and they're pushing hard up the backside of the map. Which is odd, because that's where almost all the tanks were. I'm not quite sure how that was going on, how that happened, but... So it's me and this M4, and the Tiger is just sitting there. I don't know, if I was the Tiger, I'd sit there and hide from our artillery and my bad gun depression as well, but... I'm going to pop out here, and I'm going to kill this guy. And the Tiger is still sitting there, not doing anything. So he takes a shot at the Black Prince, which leaves me open to be able to pop out here. And... put a nice shot into the front of the Tiger. Another shot into him. This is primarily why I'm not impressed with the Tiger, and I don't like it. Because it's just easy. It's like a big tank pinata.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
So we knock out the Hellcat, and we knock out the Tiger, and the game's all tied up. It's like a maze of tanks right here trying to get through here, and I take a shot from the SU-100, and I'm getting blocked now from reversing, but I'm able to take out the SU-100, and I'm trying to go around this tank, and this Black Prince idiot is like ramming into me. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I weigh more than the Black Prince, I think, so I just kept driving where I wanted to drive. But, guy, born to run. I don't know, maybe you need to learn how to drive, or... So let's see here. We are now winning 11 tanks to 10. And I'm going to assume that most of the enemy tanks are back in our base. Just because I have no idea actually where they are. There might be a KV-1 in their base. There's an AT-2 somewhere down in the valley. But I was kind of assuming that the AT-15 was going to die to the T29. So this is not a good place for me to be, really. Not really the most fantastic place for me to be, because I can get shot by their Hummel and the KV-1, but I'm pretty confident that the KV-1 is just hiding somewhere and being a pussy. So I spot the T29. This is a rear shot. Fortunately, the shot didn't go anywhere near where I wanted it to, and it hit him in the turret instead of the engine bay. And now I'm getting shot by the KV-1, and it's like, oh no, I'm getting shot by the AT-2. And I was like, no, I don't want to die. Alright. Come on, come on. Alright, good. So, that Hummel was shooting the crap out of me. And the AT-2 is shooting me, and I'm pretty sure the KV-1 is shooting me. And there's the KV-1 there. So, shoot him, managed to actually track him as well. And looks like there's the AT-2, and the KV-1 he's able to pull back because no one else is shooting at him. And I've secured the top gun, which is nice. And I've good gun elevation, but not good enough to maybe peg him at this point. But I spot the AT-2, and I don't know why he decided to do what he's doing. So I'm kind of thinking he gave up at this point and left the game. Because he just sat there and didn't move at that point.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Alright, so that's 7 kills. And we've got 6 minutes left. The KV-1's dead, and we have 4 tanks, and it's just the Hummel left. And I didn't really know where the Hummel was at that point. He just knocked out the Black Prince, so I'm a one-shot for the Hummel, and so is the M4, and so is the Bishop. So this isn't really in the bag yet. That Hummel could still kill everyone here. I really, really wanted to get 8. I've only ever gotten that one other Bradley Walters medal. So I know where the Hummel was, and I kind of was hoping he would have stayed in that area, but he actually decided to completely relocate all the way over to here. And as I'm coming up here, I actually get spotted because I have 6 cents on this tank. And here we go. He must have been somewhere over in here. Because as soon as I get up to here, I'm spotted. And he's way over there already. I'm like, oh crap, I don't know where you are. And so there's a rock there, and I just want to move and move and move. And yes. It looks like the artillery ended up taking him out in the end. So all in all, that was a pretty good fight. That was actually my Ace Mastery badge in the T29. Ended up making 57,000 credits, 6,570 experience with a premium account on that. And yeah, I did well over 4,000 damage and killed 7 tanks and ended up getting Top Gun, Steel Wall, and a Sniper medal as well. So 3 other medals to go on top of the Ace Mastery badge. So that was a really fun game. It was also my most damage game I'd ever done in the T29, as well as the most experience I'd ever got, which was 2,455. And that, to this mark for me, that stands as my highest game that I've ever got. So what do I think of the T29? It's hands down one of my favorite tanks in the game. The gun, the armor, the mobility's decent. The turret, like, I can't find too many things about the T29 that are bad for what it is. The tonnage is good. You can ram people with it. Honestly, yeah, there's nothing bad really to say about the T29. Go out, get one, go through the M6 and the T1 Heavy, which aren't bad tanks, and you won't regret it. I didn't. And even though I have the T32 now, like, I still enjoy playing the T29 because at least you don't have to face tier 10 tanks in the T29, which is nice. And you get the same gun as the T32, so it's good. But in all honesty, I'd like to hear your opinion on this tank because I love it. I don't know how people can play this tank and not rack up like minimum 2,000 damage game in it, just because, like, if you angle and you use the turret properly, it is so powerful. The gun depression's fantastic, and your biggest enemies really are really fast mediums if they can get around you and do you for a lot of damage, or just getting shells dropped on your head by the artillery. But other than that, T29, amazing tank. I fully recommend it, and you should get one. And that's going to wrap up the replay for the T29 and the review. And thank you for watching. And if you'd like to see more videos and stuff, it would really help me out if you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see some more videos. Talk to you later. Goodbye.